Hey guys, Bob from Bobot's Trains. The layout's coming along nicely, and it was getting to a point where on the edge here the framing was starting to show and it was looking pretty bad. It's about 6 inches that I needed to cover it up, and I've been putting it off for a long time, and I finally just decided to go out and get some 3/16 inch tempered hardboard masonite at Home Depot, and I came along and cut it to the lengths and ripped it to the widths that I needed, and just basically screwed it in to the edge of the layout and then painted it with a black paint. So I just wanted to go along here and show you. Now when I got down here, this is where I was working on the milk car unloader, so I had to cut out a place for my little push button down here. The edges aren't perfect, but that had to do with some of the foam. I have 1 inch foam board on top of my whole layout, so there's a thickness here and it overhung on a couple spots, and then that made the board not pull tight. But that's okay. If I really want to, if I want to dress it up, I can come back with a piece of trim and just go around a piece of corner trim here. So this was all pretty simple. Now when I got to the elevations, I had to custom cut it, and it really wasn't too bad. I laid a flat piece up against it, and then from the inside I just drew along with a marker and marked where I needed to cut. Again, the joint here could be trimmed if it has to be. And now we're back around to the other side. This, I probably can't get it out, but this is a foam piece that's a cutout so I can get inside the tunnel in case there's a derailment or if I need to clean my track. And you can hardly see the screws. They're just drywall screws. And what this allowed me to do then was finish the landscaping right up and inside here. I had been hanging over the layout for years and messed up some of the landscaping. So you see how it's a little lighter here. I filled this all in. This was some of the first stuff that I did, and I wasn't real happy with it. So I came back last night and finished that off all the way around. So it gave a little better covering. Here I'm back in the back of my workshop. Here's a piece of the tempered hardboard, and down on the floor you see a couple pieces that were left cut out. It wasn't real bad to cut it. I decided to go ahead and get a Dremel Saw Max, which is like a mini circular saw, and the depth will only go 3/4 of an inch. But that's fine for what I was trying to cut, and I figured this would be a lot easier to hold and go along to rip and to cut than a giant circular saw. Where I had to do the curved cuts, I used a jigsaw, and I got these 20 teeth per inch jigsaw blades. So that'll give you a real nice fine cut, and there's very minimal. If you need to touch anything up, just use a sanding block. I just have a sanding block. You can touch up any rough edges. These are the Countersink drill bits. They either come in these ones that you can do a pilot hole with, or you can just get a Countersink bit here. Be very careful that you don't sink too far, because once you start going into that hardboard, it's not real thick and you don't want it to go too far. Then I just use drywall screws to put it together. I should mention one more thing that comes in real handy when cutting long pieces of wood, especially plywood, is this guide. This is an aluminum guide. You put both sections together and it'll go at least 8 feet, maybe 8.5 feet. So You just clamp it down on either end to your work, and then you can take your saw and go right across, and it gives you a nice straight cut. So we're back over here at the layout. I wanted to show that I have some of these yard towers. These are Lionel yard towers. Floodlight towers. And here and back here. I've had them on for a while, as well as the one over on the far side over here. Whoops. And I'll go around there and show you. They weren't enough to brighten everything up at night. And I'm sorry about the video here, but I wanted to show you in perspective where I am. And there's the town in the middle, of course. So I came back and I added some more at key locations. These are the small, these are all Lionel. This is a small yard light. Give me some light right here. I put another one here to come down on this work area. This is a different style. These are pretty neat. There's just a little bulb in there. You can aim them. That's just here on this switch area. Here's an 8. That handled this whole area over here. Here's one, the small yard light for this switch area. These give a pretty decent light. It'll come, out to the side, so they'll cast some light here as well as concentrate right over this area. I have them in the transfer warehouse parking lot also. They've been there for a while. And then of course, as I showed before, there's the double 16 on the right. And then over here, I put one on this switch area right here. I'll do some shots later tonight when it's dark and show you. It gives a pretty nice perspective on things now that it's all sort of lit up. Now, since I was able to finish up to the edge here when I put the fascia on the layout, then I completed this area right along here, which was not done before. This is all new in the front here. This was something I came up with. I had my unloading area way down here, my milk unloading area, and I wanted to come up with something for this real thin section in here. So the concept I came up with was they're digging a ditch for cable, maybe fiber cable or something like that. So let's start up here. If you start up here, here's a worker bee. He's having lunch at the truck. All of this, there's a guy pounding steak in. All this is dirt here because this has been already dug up and filled back in and completed. The cable has been run under that section. And then when you get to the here, you see the cables coming out there on the right, and the guys are working to get that rock out of there. You got the two managers overlooking the foreman, got the workers in the hole, guy with the shovel and the pick, and this guy here, he's one of those, you can't see it now too easily, but here if I shade him, see he has the light down there in the rear, he has a little light there. He's helping him out in the ditch. And then the excavator is digging ahead of them. He's going to spin, drop the dirt onto the pile here. Now normally when this guy's equipment is working, he'll just take off that pile, load it into the truck, and then out, and they'll dump it. But right now he has to do some work on something going on there. His equipment is down. I just want to show you this. This is the new 8 light, yard light tower, floodlight tower. The one on the bottom left is out. The reason it's out is because I broke it trying to pull it out. If you look in all the manuals for these things, Lionel insists that do not unscrew, just gently pull these bulbs straight out, and they should be like the old Christmas tree bulbs according to them. That's not so. Every one of these I have, you know, maybe they make 2 different types or something, but every one of these I showed you on the layout, the 16 position, the 8 position, even these type like here, these 2 position bulbs or towers, they all use screw-in bulbs. And I did find them on Lionel's website. I have about 10 of them on order, but they are not push-in bulbs like they say. And therefore, I can't really easily convert them over to those LEDs. Dan's Drumheads online, he has a concept where you just put some LEDs in line, and he has a little board that has a resistor on it, and you would just replace them and push them in there with the same plastic mount that they had. But they're not going to work. They're screw-in bulbs. So I just wanted to point out that I've run into that, and maybe you guys will too. I'll come back later and do a little more detail maybe on some of the new pieces, but in the last 2 months or so, I got this MTH SD50. That one runs really well. That's a real nice, has good sound, good speaker to it. I really like that one. I'll show you that later. I think the Conrail caboose is new. I believe I got that in the last 2 months or so. Let me move over to the other side of the layout. Sorry about the lighting here, and I'm standing right beside the water heater and it's running, but this is the MTH Penn Central Heritage. It's SD70 Ace. It's really nice. I really like it. The only thing that I don't know, maybe you guys have run into this before, I would say very often when I power this thing up, there's no engine sounds. And I have to play around with the volume up and down controller on the DCS remote. And then if I keep going up and down, then the engine sounds will come up and it'll work. But there's no sound when I initially power it on. So let me know if that's a board issue or something that needs replaced. This is used. I picked it up from somebody on the OGR forum. It is the, I think it's an SD70 M2 Lionel. And I noticed that it was supposed to be brand new, but apparently somebody's been playing with it. I noticed that the headlight board, the PC board inside there for the headlight and whatever's inside there, it's kind of dim and certainly didn't seem to be like a bright LED color like the backup light is. So I ordered a board from Lionel for 12 bucks. And when that comes, I'm going to try to get in there and replace it and see if I can fix that up. But that one runs real nice. I don't think it's the, what do they call it, where you hold down auxiliary 1. Oh, I can't think of what it's called. And it'll do the sounds and everything for you. This, I should do a review separately on it, but this thing is awesome. This is Lionel, Penn Central, and I'm in a bad position. I can't really show you. I don't want to break anything. I can't show you down here, but the hatches open up. This thing weighs probably 3 pounds, right around 3 pounds. It's all die cast. This whole thing is die cast. It's incredibly heavy. It's unbelievable. And like I said, these hatches, I can't remember. You grab a hold of them down here somehow, and they're spring loaded, and they'll open up. It's dark. I can't see it. Sorry, guys. I don't know if this is metal as well, or if it's, I guess it's plastic. But this whole thing is, I just love the weight to it. I picked it up and I thought it was an engine, so I had to get that. I'm going to make, eventually, I got a couple things on order for Penn Central. I'm going to make a train out of Penn Central. Let me move around now. These are not new. It's just my yard area. With all my engines, I just jammed everything in there so I could run some of the new stuff. I guess what I'm going to do, now that I'm getting close to being completed with the layout at this phase, I'm going to pull all this stuff off. I bet you guys have been seeing the same rolling stock for years. I'm going to pull everything off the layout, put it on these shelves over here, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to clean all the track for the whole layout, and everything that goes back on the track is going to get the wheels cleaned before it goes on. And then I'm going to go see, I think I got boxes of rolling stock. I mean, good stuff. Atlas, some MTH Premier, all kind of cool stuff is over in the back in boxes. I got to pull out some new stuff. I've had it for years, and there's no, you know, this is a 12 by 12 layout. There's nowhere to run this stuff. I don't have enough room. This is new. Some of you saw that I posted a while back. I picked this up maybe a month, 2 months ago. This is a gen set by Lionel. I tried to run it last night. I probably has less than 20 minutes runtime on it. I tried running it last night. It runs really slow. I started moving out towards the switch. Every time I'd get a couple inches, it would just stop. It would stop moving. It would stay powered on, but it would stop moving. And I played around with it for a while, and the smoke fan motor was making a lot of noise. And I turned off the smoke unit, and then it seemed to run. So I got smoke fan motors on order. I guess it's another one of those bad smoke fan motors from whatever, 2010, 11. So I'll just open up the shell and swap that out, and hopefully it's okay. And I think you saw this. That's a really nice, that's a heavy car. That's die cast as well. That's a K-line. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this layout update, and thanks for watching.